going on, Claudine? How you doing?
You tell me what's up with you.
I should say neighbor.
What up to some good? How about that?
Absolutely, absolutely. No, everything is good in Inglewood, man. Just trying to fight the traffic with all these concerts and sporting events. It's kind of crazy.
The other day somebody was on live or something and they were talking about the traffic and they were saying they got stuck in the traffic after a game, the 49ers game. So, you notice how certain games don't have a lot of traffic, but then certain games have crazy traffic. So the 49ers game was going on. So they had talked about getting stuck in traffic. So I had said, you have to plan your day. Like you have to know either I'm going to the game, which is something that I like to do. I like to just walk over to the game. I like to see, can I get a ticket or, last minute, hey, so you'd be surprised though how many times I have just left my house, just walked to either the stadium or to the forum, and I've just stumbled upon God's grace. I swear.
Well, Claudine, you know half of LA anyway, so
How is that possible? I'm not even from here. What are you talking about?
I,
That's crazy.
I don't know. I don't know. You know a whole bunch of people in and around LA and Inglewood. But yeah, I mean, no, it's real convenient because we could just leave out the back gate and walk over to the stadium and kind of hang out in the football game.
Well, have you ever gone over there when they're tailgating?
I have not.
Okay, so I got to set the scene for you because it's crazy. So one day I had a friend visiting from Minneapolis cuz that's where I'm from. So and she was like, "Oh, I want to see what's everything going on with the game and all this." So I was like, "Okay, well let me take you for a tailgating experience." It happened Rams versus the Dallas Cowboys. Now that's a big one, right?
Yeah, that's my squad. The Cowboys. That's my squad.
That's your squad. Oh, you're star status. You're part of the Cowboys.
I am absolutely. Hold on. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Uh,
Go ahead and finish your story. I'm listening.
okay, so we get over there. Listen, it's 9 o'clock in the morning. They've got their pickup trucks with. They've got a full hot. Oh, star status. I see you. If it's real, you'll have paraphernalia right next to
Yeah, yeah. No, it's crazy. I
you.
mean that early in the morning, I can believe. But go ahead and finish.
Yeah, so basically what you have is you have a parking lot where they allow everybody to enter at 8 a.m. So once they enter, you've got people with tents, you've got people with hot plates, you got people with DJ equipment. So it's music, everything. I mean, my girlfriend, she was like, shoot, you're gonna make me move to LA. I'll tell you something. We're full. We're
Yeah.
full.
No, we are, man. I mean, it's crazy that I mean, it's crazy that a lot of season ticket holders sometimes they sell their tickets, but I mean, the opponents when it's a Ram game, and I'm sure even when it's a Charger game, they show out. I mean, like last week, I heard 49er fans really showed up probably more than the Rams this past weekend.
Oh yeah, I definitely heard it was a 49 takeover. I actually stayed home this weekend, and that's the other thing too is like um if you decide that if you decide that you're not going to go to the game, you almost have to decide that you're going to just chill in the house.
Absolutely.
Anything else leaving out is going to be, it's going to be complicated. But I did decide to stay in the house, spend some time with my husband and my kids. So that was a nice way to spend a Sunday. What'd you do this weekend?
You know what? Man, Sunday. We had a rather long morning at worship, but and then because I wanted to, not get caught up in the traffic, we picked up dinner in Torrance, and then we picked up something over here in Inglewood. And by the time we got back, it was, the game was almost over. Hold that thought, because we're going to come back on the other side of the intro. Okay.
Okay.
Hey everyone, what's going on? This is Mr. Riley from Mr. Riley's World, coming to you live from the West Coast, the best coast, the West Side. And tonight I have a wonderful guest who just happens to be my neighbor, but she's a little bit more than a neighbor. She's a fitness guru, if you will, over here on this part of LA, the West Side, Inglewood. In the person of Claudine Cooper, and so we're gonna invite her, and but just a couple of things. Now she has a class in a couple of moments, so I normally go live at 6:30, but she graciously accepted the invite, and I was like, hey, let's go ahead and make this thing work a little bit earlier. So we're here a little bit earlier than normal, and so let's just go ahead and hop in. If you were just joining the conversation, kind of heard some of our banter about just living right next to SoFi. So, let me. I think I have a small bio for Claudine. So here it is. She's a wife, she's a mother, fitness trainer, a masterful storyteller. Claudine is often called more than a trainer. Passionate about mental health, Claudine created a nonprofit organization to bring free exercise classes to underserved communities. Free Community Workouts Inc. combines cardio strength, motivational messages to create an overall wellness experience. So, without further ado, we're going to bring on my wonderful guest, Miss Claudine Cooper. What's going on, Claudine?
Cue the applause.
I got you. Hey, man, what's going on? How you feeling?
I'm feeling great. I'm really happy to be here. I just want to tell everyone that, Mr. Riley, his daughter and my daughter, they played together as children. And my daughter goes, you guys may not know the reason why Mr. Riley's world is really like a play fun place is because they have a really enjoyable kind of family life. So my daughter came over there and she didn't want to come home. She knew I girl, you gotta, listen, you can cope. You don't want to overstay your welcome, right?
Hey, she was always like, okay, but see, look, I think all four or three of the kids were here at the time. It's like, okay, what's one more? We got four. What's one more at the table?
And sometimes when your kids will come home from college, she said those were the best times.
Absolutely, absolutely. No, I mean they were here just for a couple of days this past weekend. Xavier had his spring game, and so the older two boys they flew in. They had never seen. I think my second son had seen Xavier play, but my oldest one hadn't. So he was kind of amped up, and so it was a wonderful experience to have all the boys back and just to know that they're in and out, they're being men, and that's what we're trying to raise over here. And I'm sure likewise, you have your two daughters and your son, and you guys over there doing your wonderful thing over in the Cooper household.
We're doing our wonderful thing, but I gotta ask you something because I'm not a big football person.
Okay.
So I really get excited about the fact that my son wanted to put on the pads and the helmet and go caveman style football. I was like, can't you just play flag football? How about how about swimming? No?
There, listen, as violent as it is, I mean, there's some things that can be taught in football, and I mean, this is almost a rites of passage. I wished I would have played high school football, right? I did not. I was really really thin, but now, I mean, that's a good way to kind of see build camaraderie, build community amongst the team. So, go ahead and what grade is your son in?
So my son is in seventh, and this is right when he's been playing tackle now 2 years, and he knows I'm not really happy about it. He knows it's not my favorite thing in the world because I don't like seeing my baby getting clobbered or doing the clap.
Okay.
Tell you what happened the other day. So the other day he had a game, and apparently one of the parents or a few of the parents got upset because the referees didn't call something that they should have called. Now keep in mind I'm not a big football person, so I'm not going to be able to give you all the details. All I know, there was an uprising. Do you hear me? There was literally, the parents were revolting. You hear me? Nuts. And I just at that moment myself, this is why I'm not really into this. This is my, I'm more of the enlightened spiritual being. What are we doing here? Are we really about to run on the field so you can beat the hell out of the referee. I, this this feels so low vibration.
Right, right.
So I told my son, sweetie, this is why I'm not a big fan of football. This is the energy that football brings. And you know what my son said? Mom, I love this energy.
There you go. There you go. No, it's a different kind of energy. And my boys loved it. They did start out playing, flag football. And so I think my son number two started playing, and that's really what kind of got the other two boys, into football. They saw him and how much fun he was having, and it was like, okay, let's try this. Because my oldest son, he thought, he's like, hey, I like basketball. I think I'm gonna be a basketball player. But in eighth grade, he played 1 year of Pop Warner, and then he was like, okay, I might play this at the high school level, and so he did. And then the youngest son, he was just like, okay, well, these other two dudes are playing, I might as well go ahead and play too. So, but it's once you get to high school, it's a little bit different. Yeah, Pop Warner teams, you got parents screaming at each other, you got officials, they're not calling the game the right way according to the parents, so it's going to be kind of skewed a little bit. But
Yeah.
hopefully he'll get to a position to a team on a team where you won't have to worry about all of that. So just ride the wave a little bit, ride the
Oh,
wave.
are you saying that the parents of high school football players are much more awakened and enlightened than these seventh and eighth graders?
Yes, some of them are because you don't have the hands on like you do on Pop Warner, right? I mean, you're real up and close with the coaches and with the refs, right? You're shouting stuff. I mean, high school they still stop shouting stuff at the refs from the stands, but you got the coaches who are kind of handling everything, and that they kind of handle the things that need to be handled in the way they should be handled, right? So the parents are kind of you're not all immersed as you were in Pop Warner. It's a little different kind of animal, but it's wonderful. It brings lifelong experiences, and so hopefully, you can put your son on a team where he can build some camaraderie. He can learn about being in a brotherhood and all the kind of good stuff.
Stuff. Yes, yes. That tells me too. So I'm gonna let him know that you are over here, co-signing.
Absolutely, no. It's a wonderful sport. I mean, but then also, you can balance it out with some other things as well too. So, like my second son, he's always on me because I did not put him in baseball. He's like, Dad, I could have played baseball, right? So if you have two sports, if you have some two or three sports, then that's more to choose from instead of just being football, 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 right? So
Now I have a question for you. So I know the man with the tech over here. Is there a way to is the viewers, or is there comments, or because I like to also kind of engage with the people who are kind enough to share time with us, time and space.
absolutely. So here's what happens. Usually, people will hop on. They'll kind of duck in and out, right? And so hopefully, if comments pop up. So, for instance, I did put in this one comment right here. I don't know if you can see it on your screen because I think you're coming live from your phone. I just put, "Hey, welcome to the show," right? So, can you see that comment right now?
And yes,
Okay,
now
cool.
I
So as people are popping in, then they can add some comments and kind of add to the conversation that we're having.
perfect,
All
perfect.
right, so let's go ahead and talk about enough about me and football. Let's talk about you and what you do. You're the fitness guru, the master storyteller, and I have to tell you, I love the way whenever every time you go live, I might not say for the whole thing, I might say for a couple of minutes or whatever. I might catch some of the replays, but just about every time, it looks like your position, your pose, your point of view is awesome. Whether it's in your car, whether it's in your home, in your hallway, kitchen. I mean, it's just so clean and nice. Now, do you have someone that helps you with those poses and how you set up your camera and your look?
Not at all. No. Ac- all of my experience on social media has been trial by fire. So what happened was maybe about another one of our neighbors, and I'll shout her out. Her name is Natalie Goucher, and the Goucher family, so for those of you who don't know, we live in one of the, I don't know, I guess you might call it neighborhoods in Inglewood. No, but we definitely have a lot of dynamic people in our neighborhood. So I do want to make sure I shout out Natalie Goucher because she's the one who originally told me that I needed to go from writing my posts to doing video. And I had no desire to do videos. I didn't want to go live. I didn't want to be put on the spot. I didn't even like how I looked on camera and sounded and all of that because it's a whole
Wow.
thing. And here's what she told me. She was like, whether you like it or not, the landscape of social media is changing, and people are not going to read like they're reading now. As soon as people start watching, she said this almost 10 years ago. That's why I have to shout her out because she's real good at what she does. She knows this social media game really well. And
Yeah.
she had told me, you're going to have to take it to the video. She said, you just practice, get on there, try to do a video, see how it goes. You don't like it, you delete it. No big deal. You just, you put it up, you watch it back. It's like a person who's in sports. You watch yourself play, you don't like it, boom, you do something else. But no, no one helps me with my posts. No one helps me with my videos. No one helps me with my lighting. I had to do that trial and error.
Well, I have to say you do an awesome job, and you bring you bring the folks. When Claudine Cooper goes live, so like almost like E.F. Hutton, right? You're old enough to remember E.F. Hutton.
I don't even know who E.F. Hutton is. I
Oh,
don't.
oh no. Okay, I'm telling my age. Okay, so man, first of all, let me just go ahead and say, I see Chocolate Twist Yoga's in the house. Callie, what's going on? Um,
Hi, Callie. The
so E.F.
other app-
Hutton.
yeah.
Okay, so E.F. Hutton back in the day, um, he was like a financial advisor, and so when people there was this commercial that said when E.F. Hutton speaks, people listen, right? And so you hear the announcer saying that, and then you hear people kind of leaning in, right? So now same with you. When you go live, people listen because you talk about a whole bunch of stuff. You talk about fitness, you talk about family, like even today's post about your daughter and making up the bed, right? That's something that you know
Making up the bed thing, making up the bed is a stupid thing. Why would I? But making up the bed is really a big deal. You get up out the bed in the morning, you make up the bed, and you have a better day. You're setting the day up for success. That's how I see it.
Absolutely. No, and so back to your point about when you go live, yeah, and it is social media climate now. 10 years ago, it wasn't quite as robust as it is now. Now, I mean, look at me. I'm going live. I mean, I went live last year. I mean, 10 years ago, but now it's we're taking it to the next level. Right, but you keep it simple. You got your Facebook, you got your camera, you got your camera on the stand during your thing. I mean, it's just a wonderful look.
Well, the other thing too is this is what I've realized. People don't want long form video now. So now we've moved into, you're not telling them what they want to hear within about 30 seconds to a minute.
Yeah.
They past you, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's that TikTok thing, I mean, they say you can leave a 10 minute TikTok video, but who's going to watch TikTok for 10 minutes? A 10-minute TikTok video, right? If that was the case, then yeah, I will run over to YouTube or whatever and kind of watch the videos there. But let's go ahead and I got a couple of questions for you. I know we're kind of pressed for time a little bit, so let's just kind of start talking about your free workouts. Well, even before that, man, before we talk about your free workouts, what kind of motivated you to become a fitness trainer, a guru of a sort, if you will?
I, you know, I don't even know if I can hold that title guru because I'm always, even right now, before me and you went live, I was practicing what I want to do in my workout tonight. Now, yes, have I been training for over 25 years? Yes. Do I know how to do multiple different types of fitness moves? Absolutely. But do I still want to stay sharp? Do I still want to learn new things? Yes, I do. That's one of the reasons why fitness really speaks to me, is because it is something that is constantly changing. And so with that, you do have to stay on top of the current trends. You know, I mean, you've been active. You know what it's like. Like at one point they told us, we should be doing a ton of cardio. Then it was like you should only be doing weights. And then it's like you got to mix the cardio with the weights. Then you got to do yoga. And then you got to, I mean, so with that being said, I've really enjoyed being a lifelong learner in this game. And the fact that I have the title of fitness expert, or whatever they say when they refer back to me, is really a matter of me being consistent, right? So, just to give you a little background, when I was 17 years old, I lost some family members in some very tragic ways, things like suicide, things like homicide, things that I don't wish on nobody, right? But during that time period, I went to seek therapy, right? Thanks to my mother, who recommended that I go see a therapist. The therapist told me, go work out. You'll feel better. Go work out. And actually, to be honest, at that time, working out wasn't like it is now. It wasn't popular like it is now. She actually told me to walk. She's like, walk or jog, or, do something to where you're moving your body, because your body holds stress. And that's for all of us. Our bodies are carrying whatever stress we're feeling and dealing with, be it grief, be it loss, be it work stress, toxic work environments, things like that are being held inside of our bodies. And so what her suggestion was is that I take 60 minutes every day and I move my body. And at that time, now when I was 17, that was the early 90s or so, right? And so I loved West Coast rap. That's what I was on back then. It was all NWA for me. It was Too Short, it was Snoop. That was what I was on. So I would plug in my Walkman. Now I'm dating myself. I would plug in my Walkman and I would listen to my music, and honestly, that's how I developed my style of teaching. I use music that I like, because that's what all instructors do. And then I use moves that I'm constantly improving on, constantly learning, constantly growing in, and I put the two together, and I also share what I've been through. I share what I've gone through, what I've overcome, the mental health challenges that come along with grieving and losing loved ones in these heinous ways. This is all stuff that really people can relate to. And so you don't realize people can relate to it until you start sharing it. The
Sure.
problem, most people don't want to be transparent. Most people don't want to be vulnerable because they're afraid someone's going to judge them. But what you realize when you start opening up to share your experiences, there's more people who can relate than people who can't relate.
Absolutely. No, that's a mouthful. I mean, and there's so many nuggets in what you just said, right? Um, so let me ask you this question. So you talked about moving for 60 minutes, right? And I really like the point about just get up and walk, right? I mean that it doesn't cost you anything. You don't necessarily have to go to a gym or get a membership. Just get up and walk. And there's so many studies that have been done centered around walking and the body weight being lost just walking several minutes a day. So let me ask you this. Here's my question. What is a recommended time? You know, I just worked out a couple of minutes ago for 30 minutes on my Peloton bike, right? You just mentioned 60 minutes. So what is a good sweet spot per day that people should kind of get up and move around, not necessarily to lose weight, but just to kind of, stay in shape, I guess.
Okay, well, I want to just rewind real quick. Okay, so this is the other thing too that I didn't say that I need to say, and that
Okay.
is, I did start by walking. And when I started, I didn't actually really care for the gym that much. But once I started adding weights to my walking and then to my jogging, I saw some amazing results. So
Gotcha.
I didn't want to pay for a gym membership because I was young and I was broke, but I found out that if you work at the gym, you get a membership, right? So here I am. I'm a teenager. I decide I'm gonna get a job at the gym. So I'm answering the phones at the front desk. I'm saying, "Hi, James. How are you today? Come on in, have a good workout." That was how I started working at the gym. That was 30 years ago. Since then, I've worked at countless gyms from coast to coast. I've taught classes. I've done almost every job in the gym. The only job I never did, I never sold gym memberships. That's the only thing I never did. But other than that, I've done pretty much every job at the gym. So, with that being said, I highly recommend, especially in this sedentary lifestyle that we're living, this tech age that we're living, I highly that in doing a block of time working out, like instead of a 60-minute block, I suggest 10-minute increments throughout the day until you build your way up. Because honestly, sitting down as I'm sitting right now is really bad for our health.
Sure.
It's is the new smoking. So you want to know why people's bodies are changing. You want to know why people are storing more belly fat. You want to know why people are slumping down in their shoulders because of the sitting down. So the better thing to do, it is good to do a 60-minute block, but if you sat down for 12 hours a day and then just walked for 1 hour, that still ain't doing what it needs to do.
Absolutely.
Does that make sense?
Absolutely. No, that's good. That's good.
Yeah,
That's good.
that's
That's definitely good. I mean, the goal really is just to get up and move, right? And we have all kind of devices that can aid us in moving. Where we're counting our time. There's apps, on your watches, on your phones that can kind of help. To your point, every 10 minutes. If I set a 10-minute timer for walking, then I can do that, several times, 6 or 7 times throughout the day. And, probably a little bit more because, we can, walking is real easy for 10 minutes, right? So, I mean, there's a whole bunch of technology that can aid us in, staying in shape or at the same time losing some weight.
and years ago, okay, in my studies, now my members are coming to take my butts and guts class right race space. So I do have to go. But years ago, when I was in study and I was trying to find new ways to get big results for my clients, one thing I learned is that if you do 3 30-minute workouts a day, in other words, you wake up, you do 30 minutes of yoga, midday after lunch, you do a 30-minute walk, after you eat dinner, you and your wife, you do a 30-minute Peloton, right? So those 3 30-minute workouts will keep your metabolism fired up all day. And that's actually a good way to break up the workouts for those of us who sit too much. And it just helps us keep our bodies moving throughout the day.
Absolutely, absolutely. Hey, you know what? We're gonna have to do this on a non-Wednesday. We're just gonna have to do a West Coast Wednesday on a Thursday or something, so we can get more out of you. Because I got like tons of questions right here, and I know you're a master storyteller, and so I kind of wanted to get into that. But I know you got a class to teach, Buns and Guns. Where did that name come up before you leave? Where did that name come from, Buns and Guns?
Well, I actually developed this course during the pandemic because so many of us were sitting down for too many hours of the day during that time. And when you sit down, you actually end up kind of flattening your butt. So I flat butts and guts so that you can get those two areas really targeted, but it's a full body workout. We do everything.
Butts and Guts. I said something completely different.
It's the same thing. You said buns and guns, which I've done something similar to that too. So it's all good.
Watch, watch. I get a copyright or some kind of strike because I said GUN on the live. Okay, okay. No, that's butts and guts. That's what's up. That's what's up. Um, Claudine,
Miss
before you leave,
Yeah.
give us some inspiration for working out or for mental health because that's
Yeah.
another component that you deal with as well. Give us a nugget right before you leave to teach your class.
Since you talked about telling stories, I wanna tell this story for child, anyone who is diving into their parenting journey or anywhere in their parenting journey. I want to share this story. My doctor told me, Claudine, you just had a baby. You cannot work out. You cannot work out. And I looked online and I found that there was a lot of female athletes who were still exercising after they had delivered their babies. So what I did was I put my baby in a little carrier across my chest and I started walking the neighborhood. And when I was doing those walks, I would see people out and they would say, "You shouldn't be out here. You shouldn't be out here. You need to be in the house. You have a new baby." And you know what ended up happening? Those same people who told me I shouldn't be out there started exercising with me.
Wow.
And that's kind of what I want to say. There's nothing I can say to inspire you or to motivate you to work out, but just know that in your quest to be fit, to be well, to be healthy, people might just say the wrong thing. They don't realize they're saying the wrong thing because they don't know your path and you don't know their path. But you might bring people along with you who are going to want to get healthy just like you're trying to get healthy, you know? And that's how I.
Absolutely. No, that's pretty dope. That's pretty dope. Man, I just wish we had more time. We're gonna have to do this again. We'll have to do a part two.
I would love that. I know you have another guest coming on right after me, so you guys, I'm gonna let that.
Hey, Claudine, I appreciate you. And we'll plan another session. All right.
I'd love that. Thank you,
Okay.
James, for
Appreciate
having
you.
me.
All right, guys. Yeah, that's Claudine Cooper, and my neighbor. And so while we're waiting for my second guest to pop on, she's a fitness person, and she's in and about the community, giving free community workouts, usually in Saturday mornings, in different places in Inglewood here, which is a suburb of Los Angeles. And, they're well attended by, walks of people from all walks of life. So I see Kevin Cox in the house, in the building. Thank you, Kevin, for hopping on a little bit. And we are waiting for my second guest for tonight. I've been sending him text messages all since last Thursday. Like, hey, dude, 6 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 6 o'clock. He's like, all right, I got you, I got you, I got you. So while we wait for him to hop on, let me just go ahead and take some time and if you haven't done so already, why don't you go ahead and do me a favor? You could go ahead and like my YouTube page, Mr. Riley's World, over on YouTube, and definitely leave a comment. And if you haven't done so already, subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell. That way, you will be notified anytime we drop a brand new video, or go live. And then also, if you want to support the channel, we got this thing called Buy Me a Coffee. You don't have to buy me one coffee. You can buy several coffees, if you will. And so there's a link right there, buymeacoffee.com/Mr. Riley's World. And several of my friends have been asking about my kit, my studio kit. It's like, hey, Mr. Riley, what are you doing over there in Riley World? Well, if you go over to kit.co/Mr. Riley's World, you can kind of take a look at some of the things that I have in 3 different areas. I believe my desk set up here, my tech set up here, in my studio, I guess. Some of my fitness things, and then when I'm on the go. And so those 3 areas, you kind of get a chance to see what's in my kit. And so I'm still waiting. If you're watching right now, either on YouTube or Facebook, hey, don't be afraid to drop a comment. Let me know that you're watching, and we can have a small conversation until my other guest gets in the building. So I see Shanari. Hey, Shanari, thank you for joining. Thank you for watching. I appreciate it. And actually, tonight is a follow-up to one of my friends who did not have an opportunity to hop on a couple of weeks ago. And you know what? I've been missing something. Hold on one second. And this is the person of Marcus Thompson II. So he agreed to hop on. And let me see if I can find some good songs, some good music here, just to play in the background just a little bit. There we go. All right. So yeah, Marcus Thompson is going to join us. Who's an author, columnist, and a major sports writer. He writes for The Athletic. So we're just waiting on him to hop on. Just kind of biding some time. Just biding some time. I would never say I'm self-made. Let me check some things here. Alrighty, so I know out here in Los Angeles, it kind of, just kind of talking about the rain. It rained on us unexpectedly today, and you know, last night before I went to bed, I usually check the forecast just to kind of get a glimpse of, what I should wear for the next day. And last night when I went to bed, I didn't see anything that had clouds or raindrops on my weather app. However, in the middle of the night, I'm hearing drops, coming from the window. And I'm like, okay, what's going on? And sure enough, when we wake up, the streets are covered. I mean, it's not raining, that hard, but, the streets are wet, the cars are wet. And so, just didn't see that coming. But the sun did kind of open up a little bit. And we had a wonderful day. It turned out to be sunny. Took my students outside for a good portion of the day because the first half of the day they were just like rambunctious. They're like, "Look, Mr. Riley, we need to get up out of here and get outside." I'm like, "I know you do, but it's kind of wet, son." So we finally went outside and I had a chance to run around, and that was a good thing. They did get a little wet, just a little bit. We kind of swept some of the puddles up. But tell me, how was your day? What was your day like today? Was it rainy? Was it wet? Was it foggy? I know up there in the Bay Area, it's usually kind of foggy and cold. And so did any rain happen up there in the Bay Area, the Yay area? So let me know in the comments. But yeah, hopefully, I think for the next few days, we will not have any rain. I think there's rain in the forecast this coming Monday. So, let me know. How was it for you? Was it rainy? Was it cold? But yeah, and I'm actually looking forward to going up north this weekend to watch my oldest boy play in his final game in California this season. So we'll probably head on up to the Sacramento area, I believe where UC Davis is. There's a 4 o'clock Saturday afternoon game. So I think the wife and I were going to drive up instead of flying. Take some time to just kind of drive up the coast and, find our way to UC Davis, watch the game, spend the night, and then come on back. So we'll see how that goes. And let me touch base with my dude just to make sure he's still coming. Let's see. Sometimes I forget. Made a promise to my childhood self, we'll never quit. Yeah, I know. Yes, sir. Alrighty, so I'm still waiting for Marcus Thompson to hop on with me this afternoon, and let's see. Just check these socials. So what I might do is might wait until he makes contact. I'll stay on here a little bit. And then if he hops on in the next 10 or 15 minutes, then we'll just restart the live and go at it again. All right. So, hey, I appreciate you watching. And we got to definitely have Miss Claudine Cooper come back, hop on. I mean, 30 minutes is way too short of a time to have a conversation with her. Wonderful, wonderful person here in the Inglewood, Los Angeles area as it relates to sports and just her activism with mental health, fitness, and just a masterful storyteller. So want to introduce you guys to her, but like I said, she has a commitment to teaching her fitness class at 6:30. So the time that I normally go live didn't work for her. So we just opted to go live a little bit earlier tonight. And so, yeah. So that was our friend Claudine Cooper. And like I said, if Marcus Thompson happens to hop on, we'll just restart the live. And, if you have a chance to come on back, then, hey, we'll do that. And if not, I totally understand. We'll just do what we need to do. So I'm going to go ahead and sign off for now. And I just want to say thank you all for watching. If you're watching it live, do me a favor, put in hashtag live. Well, no, just leave a comment. But if you're watching the replay, put in hashtag replay squad. That way I know you're kind of watching the replay. All right. So sorry about our guest not being able to hop on this particular live. But like I said, if he does connect with me in the next few moments, we'll just restart the live. And if you're able to join in, then that'll be cool as well. All right. So this is Mr. Riley coming to you live from the West Coast, the best coast, the West Side. You have a wonderful day, evening, or afternoon. I appreciate you watching, and we'll see you live in the next video. Take care.
I would never say I'm self-made. I need a lot of help. Pray I never let the wealth change the way I see myself. I got love all around me, but sometimes I forget. Made a promise to my childhood self, we'll never quit. Yeah, I know I go too far sometimes. I know I go too far sometimes. But let me